Hello everyone, thank you for joining us at today's council meeting. So today what we're going to be doing is going over another Jankmander with Sona deck tech. So the commander that I'm doing is Yargle, Glutton of Urborg. So this is a 9/3 for a legendary frog spirit with no other abilities. It costs a black and 4, so a fairly high CMC. Now, this commander is kind of a joke. People joke about it being terrible and whatnot. And I figured, well, why not take the meme commander and see if I can make a deck that does well and can actually win games. So that's what I've done with Yargle. And so this is part of a series where this deck, the budget was to come in under $25. Brett from Booster Therapy did a deck for $100. And then I made a deck with unlimited budget. I don't have that one in paper. It comes in at about $1,200 or $1,300, so a bit expensive. Just go ahead and read the article linked below for more information on that. So, how do we get Yargle to win? What's the strategy we're doing? So, there's a couple of things that I'm doing with Yargle. So the first is Voltron. So we have equipment like Hero's Blade to give it +3/+2, Ring of Xanthrid, which means I can regenerate it, which is great, and then also put a +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of my upkeep. Colossus Hammer to give it +10/+10, Stratascythe to basically look for a swamp, exile it, and give it +1/+1 for each swamp on the battlefield. Fire Shrieker to give it double strike. Haunted Cloak gives it vigilance, trample, and haste. And then the other strategy is to give Yargle Infect. So Grafted Exoskeleton gives it +2/+2 with Infect. And so that means that Yargle would be dealing 11 Infect damage in each swing if Grafted Exoskeleton were attached. Not too bad. So the other strategy is to protect Yargle. So I have a lot of recursion and stuff. So I already mentioned the Ring of Xanthrid with the Regenerate. We also have Blessing of Leeches. So this has Flash. Beginning of my upkeep, I lose a life, but pay 0 mana to regenerate it. Throw a Retainer, I can set it gives +1/+1, so it pumps. But then I can sacrifice to regenerate. Kaya's Ghost Form to return it. So when it dies or is put into exile, I can return it to my hand or to the battlefield under my control. Demonic Vigor returns it to my hand. And then I also have some pump enchantments. So Cartouche of Ambition, Eternal Thirst, which is a great one. So it gives the creature lifelink, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Inner Demon, making it +2/+2, and making Yargle a demon. And when it enters the battlefield, all non-demon creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn, so a nice board wipe. And then the other part of my Infect, Phyresis, which gives Infect. So I then also want to make it so Yargle can't really be blocked. So Vorak Battlehorns makes it so Yargle can't be blocked by more than one creature. Fear, which is a classic. Target creature cannot be blocked except by any creatures except black creatures and artifact creatures. Executioner's Head giving it Intimidate, which is essentially the same thing. Prowler's Helm making it so creature can't be blocked except by walls. And then Suspicious Bookcase to make Yargle unblockable. And of course Rogue's Passage as a utility land. Then I have some different artifacts and creatures. So along with the Infect, I have Contagion Clasp to help proliferate, Wishclaw Talisman in order to basically have a little bit of political ammo and Tutor, Seer Sundial with landfall to be able to look to draw a card, and Rogue's Gloves to basically make it so I can draw a card whenever the attached creature deals damage, which is very handy if I'm attacking a bunch with Yargle. Now, Yargle's already expensive, so I need some ramp. So I have things like Myriad Landscape to go after 2 lands, Hedron Archive, which also allows me to draw, Altar of the Pantheon, Urgolem's Eye, Sisay's Ring, Kalani Gem, Mana Geode, Heraldic Banner, which also pumps the creature of color of my choice. Then I also have things like Palladium Mirror to add a black, or Leaden Mirror to add a black, and Palladium Mirror to add 2. Then Walking Atlas to put a land from my hand onto the battlefield, and Brass Squire to make it so that I can equip for free, which is great. Now, I have a few other utility creatures, so I have the Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Jasu Ves, the Lich Knight, and if I kick it, I get 8 2/2 black zombie creatures with Menace. I have Plague Stinger, which has Infect, Flensermite, which also has Infect, and Squelching Leeches, where the power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps I control. So, since this is mono black, I'm running a lot of basic swamps. Some utility spells, Forever Young, to put creatures on the top, Sign in Blood, to draw 2 cards, potentially, or make another player draw 2 cards, Caressa Phyrexia, to give poison counters, and make them lose 3 life, but they do get to draw 3 cards, so not too shabby of a price. Then utility enchantments, Revenge of Ravens, so whenever a creature attacks me or a planeswalker I control, that creature's controller loses a life and I gain a life. And then Underworld Dreams to basically punish opponents for drawing cards, which is not too bad. Then I also have some instants to pump. So Howl from Beyond, great card. So black and an X, target creature gains +X/+0 till end of turn. In a game I was playing, I pumped Yargle up to be a 19/3 and dealt 19 commander damage in 1 turn. That was great. Then Lash of Thorns to give +2/+1 and Death Touch. Supernatural Stamina to give it +2/+0, and then if the creature dies, it returns tapped to the battlefield under my control to protect. Unlikely Aid to give +2/+0 and Indestructible. Rush of Vitality to give it +1/+0. Lifelink and Indestructible till end of turn. And then Undying Evil. So target creature will gain Undying until end of turn. So if it dies and had no +1/+1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So good ways to also protect and pump Yargle. Then I have a lot of removal. So Corrupt, dealing damage equal to the number of swamps I control to target creature or player, and then I gain life. Walk the Plank, destroy target merfolk creature. In that same game, I actually made Admiral Beckett walk the plank, which, just a flavor win. Epic Downfall to exile creature with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Meteor Golem, drag to the Underworld. Doomblade, Victim of the Night to destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie creature. Bake into a Pie. Eliminate. Bonus Hunger. So each opponent sacrifices a creature. But if I control this, if I have the City's Blessing, each opponent sacrifices half the creatures they control, rounded up. Not bad. Defile. Target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn for each swamp. Price of Fame. Cast Down. And Murder, which is a classic. Then to round out the deck, I have a few utility lands like Desert of the Glorified, Mortuary Mire, Witch's Cottage, Barren Moor, and Temple of the False God for a little bit of ramp. Then the rest is basic swamps. So when I built this deck and priced it out, it came in at around $23 or so. Of course, with fluctuations, prices will change and go up, go down. But overall, this was a really fun deck to play. People weren't expecting Yargle to come out swinging like that, and Yargle was able to bring it. It was one of the games I played. It was really super close, and I basically was digging for an answer, and I found an answer and managed to pull out the win with Yargle. So that was kind of a fun thing to do. So just because you might joke about a commander being bad doesn't mean you can't build around it so the commander is actually able to do some damage. And most importantly, it was fun to play, which I play for fun. So that was something that was really exciting to me. Well, thank you for coming to today's video. If you want to know when our next council meeting is, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification and join us in our Discord. And if you're on the lookout for cards and you need some singles for, let's say you're trying to build a Yargle deck, we highly recommend our sponsor over at Geekified. You can find them at geekified.us as well as in the description below. So thank you for joining us at today's council meeting, and we will see you all next time. The meeting is now adjourned.